Robotics in the 21st Century is the theme of STEM Journey 5 coming up on Saturday, March 3rd. We are going to talk about that exciting event today and a little bit about robotics too. I welcome organizers Jennifer McLaughlin and Jack Driscoll and keynote speaker Andy Reichel. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about STEM Journey. It's now in its fifth year. Gets bigger every year. What's the goal of the STEM Journey?
Well, I mean, it basically is science outreach. What we're trying to do is to, take young people, because we start off with people in kindergarten and go all the way up to through high school, and we're just trying to spark some sort of interest in science. Science is it's an interesting thing. And it's something where you can also, as we move forward, we need people. We need more STEM-related people. That's basically where the country is headed to, and there really aren't enough. In fact, in 2015, only about 2% of women graduated with STEM careers, and I think this year the number probably will be up around 8 or 10%. So that's quite a large thing. But what we want to do is not have kids get discouraged about science. We want them to really like it, and this is a real fun thing. And robotics, there's so much going on with robotics that it's a great subject. It's great for the high school students because almost every school on the Cape and beyond has some sort of a robotics club, or they're basically studying robotics in school. And in fact, Jennifer went out yesterday and got a little robot from the Disney store.
Yeah, it's got a little R2D2
Yeah,
to kind of
R2D2.
attract additional attention too. So we'll be building little robots at one of the American Chemical Society tables, and so we just to draw a little extra attention with the Star Wars kind of fad wow power,
Of course. Well, robots are really everywhere, right? I mean, it's amazing. You think about the way the technology has just skyrocketed, and I think that we all might have some sort of a robot in our home. We definitely have them in our cars. They build our cars, and so they're everywhere. And so it's interesting to think about just, how large the field of robotics is and how lucrative a career can be. And is that something that you're trying to kind of spark young minds to realize that robots really are everywhere?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's when we pick the topics for STEM Journey, we're trying to pick topics that have a wide appeal and have the wow factor, like how I get to meet a real robotics engineer, and that's where, Andy comes in.
Great. Well, let's bring Andy into the conversation. Andy, thank you so much for joining us today. Tell us how you got into the field of robotics.
So I kind of got in through, call it a back door, if you will. I went to school at Mashpee High School, got involved with the CAD and drafting program, and really that began my whole interest in technology itself. I didn't prescribe myself as a roboticist or as even someone who would fathom career in robotics until my first internship during my undergrad, where I worked for a company called Hydroid here in Pocasset, and really took a step back and realized, like, robots are actually, this is the thing for me. So it wasn't really until I got into the field that I realized how awesome and how connected all the elements were for me, and it really resonated with me at that time.
And that's interesting that you got into robotics right here on Cape Cod. So you're talking about a company that's in Pocasset. So you don't have to go to Boston. You don't have to go to New York. Robotics are right here on the Cape.
Absolutely, yeah. They're all over the East Coast, all over the country, and I think the pure applicability of robotics commercially and abroad it's ubiquitous. It's unbelievable.
And so what fascinates you the most about the career, about the field of robotics?
It's as simple as making things move. Watching a robot come to life for the first time when you have a prototype that moves for the first time with software it doesn't get old. It's always fascinating. It always puts a smile on my face. And just seeing really a prototype come to life, if you will, it'll be always inspiring.
Absolutely. And how have you seen the field change? I mean, what's the future for robotics?
Yeah, the future is fantastic. The future is almost limitless. We're seeing awesome commercial adoption with my current company, iRobot. We've seen awesome adoption in the past 10 years with the Roomba product line. And it's really the acceptance of robotics in the home is really going to be the future. Watching that market expand has been and will be unbelievable.
And those Roombas are awesome. Like anything you can get to do housework for you, I'm on board with that.
I completely agree with that statement, yeah.
So super cool. And I want to talk a little bit more about women in the STEM field. Of course, we're talking about science, technology, engineering, and math. I think that it's been of critical importance to try to get women more involved in those fields for so long. What do you see as the challenges of getting women involved? Is it just because societally we say science is for guys? Are we still there?
Well, I don't think we're still there. I think you've seen a lot of change in the past, say, 10 years. But prior to that time, I think you had a lot of the elementary school teachers who didn't like math and probably didn't like science. And so what they did is they discouraged, particularly the girls. And so the girls would get into the 7th or 8th or 9th grade and they'd already be discouraged. And now what happens is they're starting in the kindergartens with STEM programs. And then they also have extracurricular activities, and a lot of these are STEM. They'll have chemistry and physics, fairly simple programs. They'll make things like slime, which is probably one of the kids' favorite things. In fact, we had a STEM event that we did with the Boy Scouts in October. It's a wicked cool, science festival. And what Jennifer's 2 daughters did is they made slime, and they gave out, they made quite a lot of it, and they had little plastic containers that they could, give the kids some slime, and you could do a number of different things with it.
In fact, we helped them by running and washing the containers and things like that. Like they fully ran the stations themselves. So it was two 5th graders and 2 7th graders ran the whole thing. They were slammed busy. It's very popular.
And that was
a
the
big thing
busiest,
right
that was
now,
the
this
busiest
slime.
thing. Yes, it is. And you can do a lot of things with it.
You can make glow-in-the-dark slime, you can have glitter slime, it's just amazing. And then there's science behind it, right? So are your girls
Yes.
learning the kind of chemical reaction that causes all the ingredients that go into it to make this slime?
Absolutely, and they're also learning that it's kind of like cooking where you can fix it too, and so they would help all the kids kind of fix it, and they have sort of a stock on the side of like the ones that just maybe can't be fixed or they don't have time to fix. They're like, here, just take this one. This is a good one.
This isn't slimy
They're
enough.
actually, they're actually going to be doing
it.
it. It's the Sandwich STEM Academy, the 7th grade, the STEM, the science club. So it's a grade 7 to 12 science club. They're actually going to be running a slime station similar to the one that we piloted at the Wicked Cool Autumn Festival. So
Cool.
they'll be doing that at it. And then we also have Worcester Polytech coming, the chemistry department. So in terms of slime theme, they're going to be doing ferromagnetic slime. So kids will be able to make slime at the STEM table, and then they'll be able to go over with pre-made slime and actually experiment with
Magnetized slime.
Yeah, that'll be, so slime is very, this is part of STEM Journey 5.
I love it. They love it. So let's talk a little bit more about STEM Journey 5. It starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, hosted by the Sandwich STEM Academy. Where is this taking place and who can go?
Okay, so it's at Sandwich High School. Sandwich STEM Academy is the grade 7 and 8 at the high school. It's in the gym, so we'll have the hands-on activities in the gym. We actually have the United States Air Force coming to do a color guard, which is going to kick off ceremonies right at 11 o'clock. And then 1 o'clock, we have the lectures start. So we have the Women in STEM talk from 1 to 1:15. We have Andy speaking 1:15 to 2. Activities will still carry on in the gym.
Great.
Building.
And so is it free to attend?
It's free to attend. All are invited. The public is welcome. We encourage folks who are interested in robotics to come. Encourage people to bring the kids, grandkids. Everyone's welcome.
Wonderful. And really, again, it's so exciting. It's the fun part, right? Playing with the slime, checking out the robots, but also a way to explore new careers. And again, it's like I love hearing stories, success stories here on Cape Cod. You're educated at Mashpee High School. You got the job in Pecasset learning robotics, and that led to a job at a huge firm like iRobot. And can you talk a little bit more about that journey and how it feels to come back to Cape Cod and to be able to inspire young minds to maybe follow a similar path?
I definitely hope to inspire, that's for sure. I think it was, like I said, it was kind of a backwards journey for me in that I kind of fell into my current field, and I'm very lucky to have done so. All the way through high school, I was never really had struck a chord with math, and it wasn't until physics where we actually got into the applied mathematics that things really started to click with some of the more challenging high school topics. And then it wasn't until my senior year of high school when I actually started getting into drafting and animation that I was looking at mechanical structures as full assemblies and really the way they interact with the world, that I became much more in tune with this field of mechanical engineering. I've always been a big fan of Legos and Connects as a kid, and always tried to do that as much as possible, but never really saw the connection between that and my geometry classes and my calculus classes until physics and drafting. And I was really, really happy that it happened before school, and that really, or before college at least, and that really focused my college selection process down to, I was able to focus primarily, if not exclusively, on mechanical engineering programs, which is beginning of it all.
And you make a really great point about really being able to see that math in action. Sometimes it's hard to conceptualize, especially I remember my trigonometry classes many years ago. I was like, what is this? But a very similar thing happened when I was a senior in high school and going through physics classes, like, oh, it makes sense now. And so to be able to show kids who might be struggling that little connection with the robotics, with even the slime, that these things are possible because of math. These things are possible because of science, might make their learning a little bit easier.
That's exactly the hope. It was really the application of all of those fundamentals that you learned all the way from 6th grade, where you're struggling through basic multiplication and division. It's really the culmination, or an awesome culmination, or an awesome application of all those mathematics and science courses.
Great. So STEM Journey 5 coming up Saturday, March 3rd at Sandwich High School. Jennifer, what are you looking forward to the most for the day?
We have such a variety of kind of hands-on activities and demonstrations. So we're welcoming the Discover RC Flying Club again. They were huge last year with they bring all their indoor flying drones.
So cool.
So we section off a whole section of the gym for them. We've got maybe 10 colleges coming, and they're going to bring an activity, and also they'll have information about admissions, so parents and high school students who are interested in kind of thinking about colleges. We're going to have people on site from a variety of New England area colleges, just STEM stakeholders in the community, so representing industry, government, academia. And then as well, we have STEM resources, so different kind of workshops and camps and different things for people wanting to get their kids K through 12 involved in.
Great. And Jack, for you, what do you look forward to the
Well,
most?
actually, I've convinced my friend Walter Johnson he's the physics department at Suffolk University, and he's going to bring his HoloLens experiment there, where you can have a hologram and you can look through the goggles, you can walk around a structure, you can actually, if there's a skeleton, you can actually build a skeleton, you can see the different parts, you can see how everything goes, and if you're looking at a house, and I guess they've done some work there with a house, you can go inside a house, you can go into a room, you can move things around in there. I mean, it's really incredible, and I think that's going to be probably one of the more interesting things. I mean, the robots are going to be great, but I think I had a demonstration of that about 2 months ago, and I just couldn't believe it.
It's amazing. And again, the technology there, I got a pair of virtual reality glasses for my phone, and I put it on, and I was just blown away, and it kind of scared me. I had to put it away because it was so real. It really puts you in there, and just to imagine what is possible. And when you think about holograms and being able to touch and move skeletons, unbelievable. Andy, for you, what are you looking forward to the most?
I think, like you said, trying to strike a chord with even one person there, showing the application of all the hard work that they put in high school, junior high and high school, showing, hopefully connecting with at least one person, like I said, that will inspire them to pursue something related to STEM and the technology fields. It's an awesome place for them to explore some of the applications, robotics included.
Great. Andy Reichel, Jack Driscoll, and Jennifer McLaughlin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you. And STEM Journey 5 is taking place on Saturday, March 3rd at Sandwich High School from 11 o'clock until 3:30 in the afternoon. It is free to attend. I'm Sarah.